everyone, welcome to Soul Chat. I'm Ashton.
And I'm Shay. And today we're going to be touching on how to build a successful team and kind of our experience with that and kind of how we've grown and created our team.
It's been a long road to get here.
Yes. Yeah,
True.
like we're actually experts.
Literally.
Yeah. So my first very important, bullet point would be always have an employee handbook or employee manual. That is a must.
And that was definitely the hardest, or one of the hardest parts of team building, is hire on a new person and you're trying to teach them things. And it's like, well, did I teach person A this?
Yes.
Did I teach person B this? Trying to figure out how to make an employee handbook. I was literally Googling how to make an employee handbook.
Yeah, so we've done it with and without the handbook. I would definitely recommend having one.
Definitely.
Because when you started here 3 years ago, we didn't have one.
Literally, I got hired and you're like, okay, show up on Monday. And I was just here. And I've been here ever since. We had a really small team. I mean, I think back to when we were over there, it was me, you, and maybe 2 additional people. It was a very small team, so there wasn't as many things that had to be explained or talked about. And then as your team grows, it's like, oh, well, we're having this problem now. Well, now we need to have rules in place across the board, not just so people don't feel like they're getting picked on.
Yes. So coming up with that employee manual, I'm in a lot of boutique owner, business owner groups. So I definitely pulled from things that people had said in there. And also we just kind of used our experience, things we have had trouble with, things we think
could be problematic in the future.
Yes. Standards we want our employees to be held to. We wanted there to be no gray area, black and white. Everyone follows the same rules. This is how it is. If you don't follow these rules, you get written up.
Because you don't want to be in a position where it's like, wow, that should probably be a write-up. But then you have to think, but did we ever tell them?
Yes.
For me and you, these are things that it's like, no, obviously you need to be here on time. You need to do this. But did they ever get told that?
If you were never told you have to be here at 9:30, we can't expect you to know that if we didn't specifically tell you or put it in writing and give you that information.
And we don't have an employee manual and just think that that's going to be good for the next 5 years. We made one and we just revised it 2 weeks ago.
Made amendments to it. We had them sign important topic forms. I would just say overall, when you are building a team, I would say have one. That's one mistake I think we did. We needed one from the beginning. That's just one tip I would give to any kind of business owner, boutique,
for sure,
restaurant. Whatever you're doing,
most
have
of the
a manual.
Time, the rules that are in place are because of one specific thing that happened.
Yes.
And then it's going to feel like if it wasn't something that was in place, someone's going to feel targeted.
Yes.
And you really want to avoid that.
Yes. So I would say start with something. Start with a manual. And then as concerns happen or things happen, add to it. Keeping up with how you want your store to run, how you want your customers to be treated, how you want your employees to behave, act.
Dress is a big one.
Okay, number 2 is growing pains will happen. This is fresh on our minds, so it's easier. Before Christmas, we added on, and just in the square footage we grew, but also in the number of customers that have come in, the amount of traffic, all of those have contributed to growing pains.
Yeah.
And have definitely caused pain.
Well, we expanded, and then it was the holiday season, so it was an explosion. We need people and all of these customers that we're trying to serve, because that's something that your mom and you have really taught us, is the customer is the most important thing part of our business. And obviously, if we don't have customers, we won't have a fun store anymore. We got bigger, and we hired on all these people. We kind of dropped the ball because it was just all hands on deck.
Yes.
And so coming out of the Christmas season, we kind of had you and your mom sat down and was like, okay, what worked really well? What didn't work really well? Where did we really struggle? Because those growing pains have happened kind of since the add-on, because we're just, I don't want to say struggling, but
we're spread very thin, I guess would be the terminology to use. We don't know how many employees we need
more employees or less employees.
Yes.
And I feel like on some days we have 30 people here, and on some days yesterday I think it was me, you, and one other person.
Yes.
So just finding a balance of what's too many, what's too little.
Part of the growing pains for us is with the add-on, we're trying to find the sweet spot of number of employees. We're trying to have systems in place for when we hire new employees, because that will be happening. I don't want to be negative and say inventory turnover always happens, but that's just part of owning a business. People are going to leave. They're going to move on. They're going to go to college.
Yeah.
We're not everyone's forever job here because we are a boutique and they are working just as a sales associate. So we know that people will leave. Some people will stay. You never know. Systems are your friend is what I wrote, but just to make sure to have systems in place. Like
John Hart, furniture.
Yeah, your system when you open, your system when you close. People have to know how to do things. And to teach someone how to do things, you have to come up with systems yourself.
That makes sense to everybody on the floor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Systems have to be in place to be able to teach new hires how things go.
And things will pop up that you're like, oh, didn't really think about that until you're in the middle of it. We have a Southern Soul employee chat. Lately, I feel like it's been once a day, hey, we're going to implement this. But it's just because with new people, you cannot fault somebody that you haven't taught. And some of our employees might have heard it 3 times, but if one employee hasn't heard it once, then everybody's going to hear it again.
Yes, and I was doing something yesterday, and I told one of our girls, I said, the more detailed and the more rules and specifications we have, everything just smooths better. It goes better. There's no confusion. There's a set way to do it, that everyone's doing it the same way. That's how your business is going to run smoothly. And coming from a manager and like my mom being an owner side of things, when you have systems in place, you're able to leave. Things are going to run the way you want them to run when you're gone.
We can't just fall into chaos because you left for one day.
Exactly.
That's just not feasible.
So you have to, as a owner, manager, you have to come up with those systems and then implement them into everyone's routine, and you have to teach everyone just those ways of doing things. And overall, one of the big pointers I had on my notes is you can be a fun place to work and still have rules. It's like like school and recess. There are rules on the playground, but kids still have fun on the playground.
Yeah.
Like you can enjoy your job, but follow the rules also.
And it also makes it easier for everybody because you know what's expected of you.
Yes.
I know that, I'm not going to get in trouble for doing this, or I'm going to be okay doing that. When everybody's on the same page, it just takes away all that weird gray area of, I don't know what I should do. If you can have it there, you need to have those rules there.
Yeah. One last tip for anyone who's watching who does have a team. We like to keep our lines of communication very open. We want our employees to feel like they can talk to us. We want our employees to give us ideas, bad ideas, good ideas. I mean,
we have this display. I think it would do better over here. Or I have this idea with this, all of our new arrivals. Can I implement it? And giving your team that creativity to let's try it out and see what happens. They come up with some really great ideas, just totally organic on their own.
But we also want them to let us know if something isn't working. Yeah. Like they're on the floor more than we are. We're over here doing back end stuff. We want to know if our checkout system isn't working, or if we possibly could use a more updated credit card machine. Like that was a big one last year.
Yeah.
I would say communication is definitely key in having a good workplace environment and good work relationships with all of our employees, staff, whoever works here. In life, you have to work with a lot of different personalities, and everyone's not going to have the same personality, and we're not always going to do things the same. You can come to us, and I will come to you with things, is very important in our, in our day-to-day.
I don't want to ever lose sight of that human relationship aspect, because if you think about it, like me and you see each other more than we see our husbands probably, so we talk all the time, but we're comfortable with that. So we always want our employees to feel that they could come and talk to us about that stuff too, because we spend a lot of time with each other, and we don't want any weird, miscommunication or drama. We want to avoid that as much as possible. So just making sure if there's any problems or anything, we can, fix those before it gets out of hand and have a good work environment. I didn't
have a closing statement though. Comment below and let us know if you have any tips for making or having a successful team. We're always open to ideas, and it'll also help other people that are watching this video.
Make sure you like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We put out videos every Friday. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye. Guys.